another video. Hope everyone's doing alright and that. And welcome to the start of a new model build. Another British icon, and possibly my toughest challenge yet. Today we're going to be having a go at this thing, the North Sea Fishing Trawler. Popular sight around all seaside towns in Britain in the 70s, 80s and that. Not so much now, but there's still a few about and that. This one, the Ross Jackal, I've done a little bit of research on it, and it was operating about 60 miles from here. So fantastic. I'm going to try and drag up some history and put it across the bottom of the screen throughout the videos and that. But let's get out of the box and see what we're dealing with. It's pretty big. Look at the size of that. Got some thread in that. Like I say, this one could be the toughest one yet. We've got our instructions. I'll be downloading them off ScaleMates so I can go through them a bit closer and that. And fantastic. Then we've got, this is like a safety thing and that, but we've got the decals in here. Fantastic, not too many of them. There is a white line that goes right the way through there, so I'm assuming I've got to paint that in. That'll be a challenge and a half, that, but we'll get rid of the instructions and the decals for now. Put them up there out the way so they don't get wet. Let's have a look inside here. I'll probably do this video over about 3 sessions, maybe 3 videos, 3 parts, maybe 4. I'm not going to rush it or nothing. I've got a little slightly different approach I'm going to take, and hopefully it pays off. But fantastic. Boats are so hard, you know. The lifeboat was a challenge. I'm expecting it a bit more, this to be a challenge as well. But there's a bit of a mark on there. See if that comes off. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. But we've got the hull. Mint. There's not that many parts, to be honest with you. I think it's all going to be in the painting of this one, like. But there's a lot of this oil stuff kicking about on it. Look at that. There's another bit there. So I'll probably have to wash the parts. I don't usually wash the Revell parts, but I think I will, because we're seeing that oil in that. In this part of the video, I'm going to be working on nothing but the hull. I'm going to get it all painted up and glued up and that. Fantastic. So in the instructions, there'll be just this stage here. There's only about 5 parts, but there's a lot of painting involved in that. Fantastic. I'm going to try and match the paints up as best I can. I've got most of them, or close to them anyway. The 2 browns, there's 2 browns on the deck, in the side, in the rails and that. I might have to improvise a little bit with them, because I don't think I've got the exact ones, but we'll get them close enough. Let's get into it, and let's see this thing come together. Fantastic. Right, that's the hull complete and the perfect time to bring this part of the video to a close. And I'll tell you what, that was 3 days of hard work, like 3 days of hard work. But I'll tell you what, it's come out looking fantastic. Look at that. Mint. I wasn't too sure about the red paint at first. Started spraying it on, it looked a bit blotchy, but it's dried all right, you know. I was conscious of it like changing to really bright red, and I didn't want that to happen. But I think it's come out looking fine. There's no white line yet. You might have seen I tried always. I tried tapes, I tried freehanding it, I tried acrylic pens. Bit beyond my skill level yet. I might revisit that in a different video when I get a bit better at that. And I'm not going to put the decals on until right at the end. Fantastic. No one names a ship until it gets launched. Mint. But the propellers, I've done them in that bronze colour and that. It's not spinning because I had to cut it down a little bit. It was meant to be built as one, but I wanted it that colour because I think it looks better. But the little air prop thing, that works. Mint. And the top, again, looking fantastic. I had to guess these two brown colours because I didn't have the right ones. Hopefully they look all right in that. There's a little bit more of this lighter colour brown to go on the air cabin and on a couple of the masts. But that'll be fine. But these look mint. But fantastic. In the next video, I'm going to get everything painted up and I'm going to concentrate on this end, getting it constructed and that. Fantastic. And in the third part, we'll come back. We'll put the front on. We'll rig it all up and that. And we should have ourselves a cracking little fishing boat. So fantastic. So if you like the video, hit likes, hit subscribes, do all the YouTubey stuff for us. And I'll see you in part 2. Fantastic.